Good day, everyone. I am Jamie H. Lamarca from the BS Ed Mathematics 2. So today, I am here to discuss the organizational leadership. But before we start, let me discuss first the learning outcomes of this study. And at the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain what organizational leadership is, distinguish between leadership and management, describe different organizational leadership styles, explain what is situational leadership, servant leadership are, and discuss how to sustain change in an organization.
Leadership versus management. School head must be both a leader and a manager. A school head leads the school and community to formulate the vision, mission, goals, and school improvement plan. This is a leadership function. She or he sees to it that this plan gets well implemented on time and so ensures that the resources needed are there. The persons to do the job are qualified and available. This is a management function. Imagine if the school head is only a leader. You have the vision, mission, goals, and school plan, but no implementation. The plan is good only in paper. If you do the task of a manager only, you will be focusing on the details of the day-of-day implementation without the big picture, the vision and mission. So, the big picture for connect and meaning. This means that it is best that a school leader is both a leader and a manager. The table shows about the comparison of manager and leader. Manager versus leaders. Managers are the administrator. Their process is transactional, meet objectives and delegate tasks, while leaders innovate. Their process is transformational, develop a vision and find a way. Managers are work-focused. The goal is to get things done. They are skilled at allocating work, while leaders are people-focused. The goals include both people and results. They care about you and want you to succeed. Managers have subordinates. They create circles of power and lead by authority, while leaders have followers. They create circles of influence and lead by inspiring. Managers do things right. Managers enact the existing culture and maintain status quo, while leaders do the right thing. Leaders shape the culture and drive integrity.
The introduction of this topic. Expected of professional teachers who care for and embark on continuing professional development is a promotion along the way. With this in mind, this course won't be complete without a discussion of an effective leader and manager for which you will be in the future. But should you refuse offer for a managerial or leadership position in school or in the bigger educational organization because of the love for teaching and learners, this lesson on organizational leadership won't be laid to waste because even as teacher, you are already a leader and a manager. You are a teacher and a class or classroom manager.
So, what is organizational leadership? Organizational leadership works toward what is best for individual members and what is best for the organization as a group at the same time. Organizational leadership does not sacrifice the individual members for the sake of the people, nor sacrifice the welfare of the group for the sake of individual members. Both individual and group are necessary. Organizational leadership also is an attitude and a work of ethic that empowers an individual in any role to lead from the top, middle, or bottom of an organization. Applied to the school setting, the school leader helps anyone from the organization, not necessarily from the top, to lead others. An example of this leadership which does not necessarily come from the top of the organization, is teacher leadership. So let us discuss the types of skills demanded of leaders. Leaders use three broad types of skills. They are the technical, the human, and the conceptual. Technical skills refers to any type of process of technique like sending email, preparing a PowerPoint presentation. These leaders have the knowledge in using technology, but there are leaders who doesn't know how to use technology. That's why they have their personal assistants or secretary in case they will be sending an email or preparing a PowerPoint presentation. Next is the human skill. It is the ability to work effectively with people and to build teamwork. This is also referred to as people skills or soft skills. While in the conceptual skill is the ability to think in terms of models, frameworks, and broad relationships such as long-range plans. In short, conceptual skills deal with ideas, while human skills concerns relationship with people, and technical skills involves psychomotor skills and things. The ideal school leader processes all three. Let us all remember, if the group member is able, willing, and confident or high readiness, the leader uses a delegating leadership style. The leader turns over the responsibility for decisions and implementation to the members. On the other hand, if the group members have low readiness or they are unable and unwilling, the leader resorts to telling the group members what to do, and they are under the telling or coaching leadership style. The servant leadership. Robert K. Greenleaf in 1997 coined the paradoxical term servant leadership. He questions that how can one be a leader when he or she is servant? That's the common thinking, but the paradox is Greenleaf's deliberate and meaningful way of emphasizing the qualities of a servant leader. The first desire of the servant leader is to serve. How? By leading. The greatest teacher of humankind, who is Jesus Christ, was a servant leader. He taught his disciples, "He who wants to be great must be the servant of all." The life of the greatest teacher was a life of total service to all. Next is the leadership styles. Leadership styles has categorized into four, which is the autocratic, the consultative, and the democratic, and the laissez-faire. Autocratic leaders do decision-making by themselves, while consultative leaders allow participation of the members of the organization by consulting them but make the decision themselves. This is what happens in consultation meeting called by schools when they increase tuition fees. Sometimes education stakeholders get disappointed that their suggestions are not carried after school leaders have consulted them. They do not understand that consultation does not necessarily mean approval of stakeholders' suggestions. While democratic leaders allow the members of the organization to fully participate in decision making, decisions are arrived at by way of consensus. This is genuine participation of the members of the organization, which is in keeping with school empowerment. While in laissez-faire or free-rein leadership style, leaders avoid responsibility and leave the members of the organization to establish their own work. This leadership style leads to the kanya-kanya mentality, which is the one weaknesses of the Filipino character. The situational leadership model. In situational leadership, effective leaders adapt their leadership style to the situation of the members of the organization, to the readiness and willingness of group members. Paul Hersey and Kenneth H. Blanchard in 1996 characterize leadership style in terms of the amount of task behavior and relationship behavior that the leader provides to their followers. They categorize all leadership styles into 4 behavior styles, which they name S1 to S4. The behavioral styles in situational leadership that was categorized into 4 and named S1 to S4, that characterized by Paul Hersey and Kenneth H. Blanchard in 1996. Under S1 are the selling or directing. Individuals lack the specific skills required for the job in hand and they are willing to work at the task. They are novice but enthusiastic. Under S2 are the telling or coaching. Individuals are more able to do the task, however, they are demotivated for this job or task, unwilling to do the task. Under S3 are the participating or supporting. Individuals are experienced and able to do the task but lack the confidence or the willingness to take on responsibility. Under S4 are the delegating. Individuals are experienced at the task and comfortable with their own ability to do it well. They are able and willing not only do the task but to take responsibility for the task. Servant leadership seeks to involve others in decision making, is strongly based in ethical and caring behavior, and enhances the growth of workers while improving the caring and quality of organizational life. The school head who acts as a servant leader forever remembers that he or she is there to serve his or her teachers, the students, the parents, and not the teachers, learners, parents to serve him or her. Let us move on to the transformational leadership. Robert Kennedy once said, "Some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not. Those who dream of things that never were and ask why not are not transformational leaders." The transformational leader is not content with status quo and sees the need to transform the way the organization thinks, relates, and does things. The transformational school leader sees school culture as it could be and should be, not as it is, and so plays his or her role as visionary, engager, learner, collaborator, and instructional leader. As a transformational leader, he or she makes positive changes in the organization by collaboratively developing new vision for the organization and mobilizing members to work towards that vision. To do this, the transformational leader combines charisma, inspirational leadership, and intellectual stimulation to introduce innovation for the transformation of the organization. And for our last discussion, which is the sustaining change. We feel most comfortable with our old pair of shoes. We like to live in our comfort zones, and so sometimes we don't welcome change. And yet, if we want improvement in the way we do things in our organization, in our school, or if we want to improve in life, we must be willing to change. Transformational leader ought to deal with resistance to change to succeed. There will always be resistors to change. To ensure the innovation he or she introduces leads the transformation of the organization. Morato of Bayan, ABS-CBN, in 2012, gives the following advice. Number 1. Seek the support of the stakeholders. Leaders must build a strong coalition of allies in order to push for any meaningful change that would yield results. Number 2. Get people involved early and often. Resistance drop-offs in proportion to the involvement of participants. Number 3. plan a communication campaign to sell the innovation. Morato 2012 asserts that the change in vision must cascade downwards to the last lesson plan and ripple sideward to win the support of major stakeholders. Number 4. Ensure that the innovation is understood by all. The benefits and costs must be appreciated and weighted carefully. And lastly, the number 5. Consider timing and pricing. These are highly critical. Missteps might backfire and lack of sensitivity to stakeholders might lead to resistance.
So that's all for today, and I hope you learned something about this topic. Thank you and have a nice day.